But you did mention Drew McIntyre, and I got to give you credit, Jason. I got to give you credit. You were like, he might be coming to Raw tonight. You thought he would be in the main event. I said, no way, Jason. You're a dumb mark. Stop believing all this shit. He's not actually coming over to Raw. You have no idea what you're talking about. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. 5 minutes later, shows up on Raw. Like, what the fuck?
But you see, for the first time in God knows how many years, it makes me want to see Ziggler.
I was going to say, what do you think do you think this pairing with Dolph Ziggler does more to elevate Ziggler, or does it bring down McIntyre?
No, elevates both. I mean, if you think about the times that Ziggler was at the top, he was always with a little faction or had somebody, like when it was with Big E and AJ or Vicky Guerrero. He always needed somebody to push him because there was always something missing, even though he's a great worker and he's probably one of the best sellers out there. Mm-hmm. Besides, I would say RVD has him beat on that. And the guy can work. It's just there's nothing to get behind him because they killed his push by him doing that drawn out long freaking. Oh, dude, I'm gonna quit. I don't care. No, I'm not gonna quit. I'm just gonna keep fighting. And no one cared. They're like, okay, it was too much. They just shoved it down your throat and you just didn't care. And then his damn entrance still bugs the crap out of me. I don't like his music.
I hate it.
The fact that you had to come out to nothing, stand there like an idiot, and then play your crappy music is just even worse. But hopefully that changes with Drew McIntyre, and they'll turn on him and it'll just push Drew. So
I hope so. I think this is a solid reintroduction of McIntyre to the main roster, just because if you brought him back on his own right now, between Braun Strowman and all the other people they have on Raw, Roman Reigns, Vince's fucking love child here, I don't think they're going to push Drew on his own anytime soon. So putting him in the tag team division for right now seems like it makes a decent amount of sense with Dolph Ziggler. Like you said, the guy's a good wrestler, so hopefully in a tag team it makes Ziggler bearable again, and they can get somewhat of a push. And McIntyre, I liked him more as a babyface in NXT, but again, as you had said, maybe we see something along the lines of Ziggler turning on him at some point, and they push Drew towards the IC title picture again, as he was about 8 years ago. So yeah, it was really cool to see him in person, and it should be noted that it was at TakeOver last year that Drew McIntyre initially returned to the WWE in the crowd, a show that we were at together, and then he returned on Raw on Monday night. So do you think the next show that we go to in maybe 2019 at WrestleMania, he'll be competing for the WWE Championship or something?
I would hope so, but I mean, maybe not the Universal, but yeah, maybe the WWE Championship, just because Vince has got to, I mean, look, he's got the look, he's got the size, he can actually wrestle, he's entertaining, depending on what they do with them, which I can clearly see. I'd like to see where he turns on Ziggler and breaks out on his own, and, I mean, Lesnar probably won't be around, but I mean, think of all the people you put Drew up against. I mean, hell, I'm sure he could, squash a lot of people. That would be great.
I mean, the roster's come a long way since he was last year in the company 3 or 4 years ago. Seth Rollins comes to mind as a great opponent for McIntyre, especially if it's over the IC title or something at some point down the road. McIntyre, and there's a lot of people he could face. He can rekindle his feud with Bobby Roode from NXT if they want to at some point. So yeah, there's a lot of people he can face, and I think he has a high ceiling on the Monday Night Raw roster.